So it is time for another top 10 tier list, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new EZAs that have come to both GB and Global. Actually, funny enough, yeah, these two new characters are also on Global. So EZAs, we've got a lot of these characters, and now we are also getting Super EZAs, right? But we're today focusing on Dokkan Festival exclusives. Now, I do want to ask y'all, do y'all want to see me do like tier list on like these banner units? Maybe, I don't know. I was thinking about waiting for Kale Collective to officially come out, but I did use them a little bit. But I think, like, banner unit EZs, we have like 16 Paragus and Broly, Bardagine, not Kefla, KO, Vados. Like, there's a lot of good characters in here, actually, funny enough. Even from last Worldwide, like Gowasun's Zamasu is still a decent character. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I've been thinking about doing that for some time now. But of course, maybe I'll wait until the April celebration, and then we'll kind of compile a bunch of those characters. Because in April, Rose could drop. It could be New Dokkan Fest. But again, that's it. Today we're going to be focusing on Dokkan Festival exclusives, and the two new characters that have released are the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku and the STR Super Vegeta. Now, I know both versions have been able to use this, and we are also considering global for this list, so Kefla will also be considered for this list as well. And we'll talk about it why when we get to Kefla, right? But yes, that is the reason why these two are here, and they're going to be the main focus for the video today. So we're going to start from number 10 and work our way up and just give a quick talk about these characters. I did cover them a lot in my last video, and we'll just see here. So I mean, I already hovered my mouse over him, but first and foremost, we're going over the MVP 17. So I like the 17. I think he's still a pretty solid character overall. Is he like anything crazy anymore? Honestly, seems not really. I think at the 17, like, he can get very easily trashed, but he does have the 57% reduction in his back pocket. Then he's also providing 70% 60%. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, 77% defense support if he's under that HP restriction, and otherwise he has 60% defense support, which is pretty nice, right? After he takes a couple of those hits, he could be very, very solid. There's still some relatively difficult in bosses where you could let this guy like build up, but mostly the fusions of Masu fight, which I would still say is a pretty difficult fight overall, is where this guy is able to look really great. But again, some of these other fights you can definitely get away with him. Like, I feel like you can get away with this guy in the Beast Gohan fight. Like, if he has his full 57% reduction and he's built up, would he be able to live a super attack with 57% reduction? That I don't know. But he for sure at the very least would be a nice little defense buffer for like the Androids team, Raps Universe 7, tournament participants. He's on superheroes, right? So like, he's in a lot of these like really top tier good teams, I think, that are going on in the game right now. And that's why I do like him here at our number 10 spot. Number 9 will be STR Super Boo. So I think STR Super Boo, very important for like the artificial life forms mission, and these events, are relatively longer now. I think instead of these events lasting for about 4 or 5 turns, these events can last like, I think a lot of these events nowadays last for 6 to 7 turns, maybe sometimes 8, but like usually 6 to 7 is what I'm seeing. And then, there are fights that could potentially last 10 turns or something, like the Blue Gogeta fight, right? But that allows this guy to like transform into one of these transformations. Don't want to get Majin Buu Gotenks. Buu Gotenks is garbage, right? So if you get him, you're kind of stuck. But I think Buu Piccolo is still pretty decent. Buu Ultimate Gohan is still pretty decent. This guy has a debuff. Like, there are some of these fights that can be debuffed now. So if you do get this debuff off, that can be pretty useful for this guy in terms of eating like attacks. It does suck though. He does get this defense 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack. That is very unfortunate, because that first hit he could take could potentially do a lot of damage. But he also does want to be at more HP, like higher HP start of turn, to get this extra defense boost right there. So if you don't have that, that can be a little devastating for him. But I think the real issue for this guy is that artificial life form still not really the best, or Majin Power really, but Majin Power, you know, it started to get some stuff. We have AGL 21, Boo tanks is EZA, this Super Boo here. You know, this guy's decent, right? You know, we have 21 here. The thing is that there's so many Super Boos, right? So he's kind of really competing. Hopefully this guy gets EZA soon. Who else did we get? Oh yeah, this guy. This guy's EZA World Tournament free-to-play EZA. Came out recently. I haven't used him yet, but excuse me. I saw a clip of him eating Beast Gohan's super attack before he even supered. I don't know how many rainbow orbs he got, but you know, this guy's a double rainbow orb changer, so he helps the team a lot. So I guess that's a little bit of a nice thing for this guy, but again, he's at the same place as last time, number 9. Number 8, we have physical Super Vegeta. I just think that, you know, this guy is like, him just being able to always tank normals is just good. You know, sometimes this guy doesn't tank normals, sometimes this guy doesn't, and you know, like Buhan would be better against like supers than what this guy's doing, right? 17 may be better sometimes against supers than this guy, but I think we do have STR Super Vegeta's EZA, which is a nice little scouter that we have. You know, on the Super Saiyans team, you can get that off. I think primarily like STR Super Vegeta's best team is probably the Super Saiyans team. Is he still here? Yeah, like his team is probably the best one to use him on. Like in terms of 200%, it's probably the Super Saiyans team. Maybe the Super Saiyan 3 Goku's team, because he doesn't fit like Beast Gohan's leader skill, I believe. Or, you know, I think does he fit Broly's team? I don't think so, right? Wait, is Beast Gohan a Battle Wits leader? Oh, see, he's not. So, like, you can see, he doesn't fit a lot of these teams. 2 leads joint forces. Yeah, see, so, these guys lead joint forces. So, like, I guess you can get him on a team with, I think Beast Gohan is on here. Right? I don't know. It's been a while, but since I've really looked into that team, I don't think he is. But regardless, this guy is able to work really well with STR Super Vegeta with the Scouter ability. But even without that, as long as he doesn't get tagged with a super attack and you're like floating him, or put him where the least amount of attacks are, he can be kind of like a free filler option spot, which even throughout the entire event, which is very nice to see. So I actually do like this guy in terms of how he's aging. Pretty nice. Next, we have AGL Bardock. Yeah, AGL Bardock's at 7, dude. And it is very sad for this guy. He's just weak. Yeah, his base form is just too weak. It's pathetic. Like, garbage. Like, actually, they messed up. And it's like, you know, people are like, oh, just wait for Saiyan Day. We're gonna get, like, low-class warriors. We'll get, like, the Team Bardock EZAs. Like, the Grade 8 ones. We didn't get that. I don't know what the point of this restriction is if they weren't gonna buff this during Saiyan Day. Like, I don't know. Like, again, maybe if the Team Bardock characters got EZAs, it'd be a little better. But like, are we expecting like Grade 8 Bardock to have like a crazy EZA, like a banner unit EZA? Like, I guess 16 is pretty crazy. I feel like some of them would have been misses though. Maybe Shugesh could have been interesting. He's a support character, you know. But like, they all have giant forms though, I guess, which is fair. Like, giant forms could be very powerful. Like, imagine a team full of all giant form characters, and then it's like, sometimes you just never get supered. That could be very funny. But Space Bardock's really bad. Like, he's really, 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 really bad without that reduction at all. Like, he has 10% because he counts himself out, I think, right? But like, if he had, this is not even like a guaranteed super, man. Even when we get this, and then it's like a mediocre character or like a decent passable character, it's like he doesn't even get a guaranteed super. It's just a high chance. I could activate the hidden potential one though, which is nice, but come, this could have been guaranteed with how bad this restriction. Oh god, dude, I didn't even think about that. With how bad this restriction is, it's not even guaranteed. Like, are you kidding me? What a dumb restriction. And it's like, we have the Golden Frieza fight, which is decent, but like, that's like not really difficult. I just, and he sucks. Super Saiyan Bardock is decent, right? So that's why, you know, I think Super Saiyan Bardock is what really puts him above here. I would say there's like a gap here for sure between Bardock and Super Vegeta still, kind of. I wouldn't say I would rather run physical Super Vegeta, but I would rather run physical Super Vegeta over base Bardock, but Super Saiyan Bardock is actually still pretty decent. He has the 50% dodge chance, basic, well, it's 48% dodge chance, 48% crit. He does 70% chance super attack right there. I mean, he's like a decent character. He's able to look pretty decent, right? With the reduction that he has as well. I think it's 36% reduction. He doesn't really have a hard time tanking normals, even with minimum stacks. Good Saiyans, right? You know, this guy's not bad. The Super Saiyan Bardock here is definitely not bad at all. He's not like crazy though at the same time, but he's not bad, you know, but just, yeah. Base Bardock holds this guy back really, really badly. Really badly. Next we have Beerus. I think Beerus is actually still pretty decent. And, you know, Beerus, I would say, is in a worse spot than he was pre, like, 9th anniversary, but he's still pretty decent, right? There's still some new Realm of Gods enemies, funny enough, that we did end up getting. And, you know, you can get the Rainbow Keys for changing there. But even without that, you know, if we consider global, eventually we're going to get Battles. Battles is on some of his teams, and she is a Rainbow Orb Changer. So that could help out for this guy against, like, a Battles and physical Beerus rotation could be decent in some certain fights. Beerus can still do some pretty nice damage, I've seen as well. The stacking attack, I do wish that he had a defense raise for the turn though. That's really it. That's all I'm gonna say. I do wish he had a defense raise or something. That could have been very helpful. But this physical Beerus is still decent, right? You know, even with just a 40% reduction after he attacks, he is able to be pretty nice against a lot of these attacks once he gets this buff. The first attack will hit him hard, and that's for sure the only thing. But once he receives his attack, he's pretty safe. And again, he is better during the like worldwide celebration AoE kind of era, I feel like, with all these in bosses. But this guy's actually still not bad as long as you're able to get him. I mean, he doesn't necessarily even need the 7 orbs unless you're running this guy in slot 1 anymore, right? So it's like, you know, you can get the 7 orbs, but it's only if you're gonna put him in slot 1 at this point, right? Or I guess, you know, against if you do take this guy against like the blue Gogeta fight, this would be like, you're gonna have to have this if you're running this guy in slot 3, but I wouldn't even recommend running him in that fight anyways, right? Well, he does greatly lower attack and defense, huh? It's actually interesting. He does do the greatly lower attack and defense. You know, again, there are some fights that are Realm of Gods that are relatively difficult that you could take this guy into. And against Blue Gogeta, he will have the Rainbow Orb changing. I wonder if it won't be bad. Maybe I'll try to take him into there, into that fight, like off camera. Maybe I posted a clip on Twitter, but that could be interesting. But I don't know. I don't have battles, but we'll see. Beerus is still pretty decent, so I do have him at the 6th bar here. Number 5, we have Into Future Gohan. And then I'll put number 4 as well, and I'll talk about why. So number 4 is Fusion Zamasu. So this is actually a change I made. I had In Future Gohan above the Fusion Zamasu before, and the reason why I moved them down is I just feel like Future Gohan is still good, and I still really like him. But there's 2 things. 1, I do like that Zamasu transforms a turn earlier. I really do like that Zamasu returns a turn earlier. I feel like Zamasu's more like, okay, base Zamasu I don't think is as good as the base Future Gohan. I mean, the thing about this base Future Gohan, he has to be under 70% HP for him to even get the reduction. Which, whilst that can happen, I feel like, you know, I might rather take Zamasu, who does have at least the 40% reduction there, and then he heals at the end of turn, and he's supporting Ki, right? That's one thing. Where for like Future Gohan, before 9th anniversary, before 9th anniversary, I didn't really feel worried about this guy, even in his base form, because like it's like, okay, well, I'll take that AoE if anything, and then I'll get his reduction, and then we're good. But that's not really going to be the case anymore. And I feel like his support, but I don't know. And another thing, I don't think Trunks is as good as it used to be. So it's like, you know, without a Trunks, it's going to be a little finicky. Well, Zamasu, I feel like, you know, Tech Fusion Zamasu is actually in a better spot, probably now. Which is kind of weird because fights were like short before and now they're longer. But I think Tech Fusion Zamasu is actually in a better spot right now than he was before the anniversary. So that's kind of funny. And then this guy, I would say, while the Transform Future Gohan usually is better than the Fusion Zamasu here, this guy, again, not really going to have a Trunks, who's missing a super. There's actually, again, just way less androids. Future Saga is like enemies that are like super tough. So it's like, you know, he's not gonna get this additional super. His damage is gonna be a lot lower. Still a decent tank for sure. But this guy is stacking, so like in these longer fights, you can stack up. Blue Gogeta, he'll have type advantage, right, in a lot of those phases. I actually do like what this Fusion's Zamasu, this Angel's Zamasu is looking like overall compared to Future Gohan, I think, now. And it does benefit him that fights are a little longer. And then, even sometimes this guy, I can get away with using this mutation. Well, the wiki calls it mutation, but it's just still Fusion Zamasu, the active skill transformation. And he's actually still decent. Actually, you know, he's not too bad. This actual Fusion Zamasu here, he's not too bad. Actually, I do think that he, like, if he doesn't get hit, he's not too bad. I guess is what I should say. But you guys get the point there. Even if you get him like a lot of stacks at the end of the Blue Gogeta fight, you probably could get away with him. It won't really be that like good of a performance, but you probably could get away with him, is what I'm thinking. But okay. Here is STR Super Vegeta right here. Now, I'm just gonna fill out the rest of the list, I think, and then we're gonna kind of wrap things up. So we have Super Saiyan 3 Goku at 2, and then we have Kefla at 1. Again, just quickly talk about Kefla. She's just better. She's that girl. She's crazy. Kefla is just insane. I mean, if you're on global, a lot of y'all have used Kefla at this point. But she's very consistent. Like, you don't even necessarily need this, but if you get this, it's really crazy. But this right here is pretty good. Base form, nothing crazy. But, you know, once you get Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, like Super Saiyan 2 Kefla is just so unbelievably cracked for turn 5. Like, Kefla is just, like, she's quad supering. And then, it's like, they're guaranteed. And then she has 70% dodge. She has some crit in there. She's still stacking attack. Like, what a dumb character. And then these multiplicative buffs are really good as well. So that's cool. And then the reason why she hits so hard is because these buffs with the key spirits obtained or start of turn. And then she gets the, like, what is it? 150% start of turn, then 250% when attacking. And then 160% start of turn, and then 260% when attacking here. It's like crazy. Those are super high numbers, man. Whew, this Kefla is just really nasty. STR Super Vegeta. The thing about this guy, right, is he does do pretty nice damage, but he's not like, okay, how do I explain it? I feel like he's built for global content almost. While I do think that he does look pretty nice in this, like, some of this new JP content that lasts even for like 6 to 7 turns, like we go on fight, sort of Hope Trunks fight. This whole part of the passive being only against Cell, and there's no Cell Max does not count. There's no relevant Cell fights, right? So it's like you're missing a huge chunk of this character's kit, and it's like, you know, additional super attack right here is massive. And it's like, even then you have to put him in Assault 1. It's like, you're not really gonna put this guy in Assault 1. I mean, I guess you could, but this guaranteed guard, the 50% attack and defense, like, this should have been in his kit. Like, what if this was all in slot 1, like, as the first attacker in the turn, or when there's another Android Cell Saga category ally attacking in the same turn? That would have been fine. Yeah, if there was another Android Cell Saga category ally attacking in the same turn, instead of when facing Cell. And then this guy would be like twice as good. Actually, like, genuinely, like, yeah, because he would have the guarantee guard. Then he would have this extra base stats, which would be really helpful, and the additional super attacks. So once he's supered, he's guaranteed double supering here. His damage shoots up by such a huge amount. But no, they're like, nah. Or, you know, it would have been nice if, you know, even instead of this, it's like, it could have been like 30% reduction or something. And then, you know, you still have the 5-turn guard. Or, yeah, you know, you still have the guarantee guard, but then give him like, I don't know, 30% reduction before attacking. And then it's like he gets this right here, and it's able to allow him to be in a slot 1 roll a lot better. Sure, he would hit technically less harder, but if it's against all enemies, right? Like, I don't know. I just, I feel like the cell restriction really hurts this guy. Because while he's still decent without the cell restriction, again, he's not, like, looking anything crazy. And I think that's the biggest issue with this Super Vegeta. And on the active skill turn, I think it's a lot more common to see this. He can do some very high damage. I've seen this guy with like a 40 mil attack stat before. Like, you could juice him up to look really nasty, but I think there's just some, like, I guess, inconsistencies with this guy. It's weird. It's like he wants to build up, but then he has the guard for the first few turns, and it's like this little cell fight, and he wants to be in the first slot to receive this attack, but then he gets so much stats on super. It's like this guy's design, I think the baseline of his design was always a little weird, but it's like I feel like they made it even like more convoluted and didn't really try to like fix it at all, or give him something like that where it's like, oh, I have incentive to run him in slot 1 maybe, even though he doesn't get a lot of his stats. Well, this, like, if you're turn 1, this you don't get into after you attack, and this is massive, you don't get into after you attack, this you don't get after you attack, right? And then it's like he's at like, even when he's fully built up, he's doing like what, 300 to 400k defense at most. I was probably being generous. Before you attack with guard, and it's like you're gonna get one shot or something, right? So I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, he doesn't have any defensive mechanic besides the guard, and then it's like 300k defense, and that's not enough. That's not. And they should know. But then they like want him to be in slot 1 for this buff, and it's like, sure, you don't have to put him in slot 1, but like, especially with this, it's like even if you're facing a cell, like, you're not gonna like, if you get a new tough cell fight, like, you're not putting this guy in slot 1 regardless. Like, this is not enough. This is not gonna be like, oh, he's a gamer now, he's awesome. No, come on, that is weird. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I do like quite a bit though. I think he's a very nice, clean, consistent unit. I think he does what he wants to do. Now, I think a lot of people may get tripped up, and it's like, oh, they see this extra 30% chance to dodge before attacking. I can't have such a fight random slot 1. Not really. Again, I think this is a situation where, well, I guess to be fair, this, is a situation where we're either watching out for, well, they're not global players as well because of AoEs, but I think this is a situation where they thought about global players with AoE, because it's like, okay, well, like Fusion Zamasu exists and stuff like that. Like, this guy's like really good against Fusion Zamasu. Fusion Zamasu, sorry, I said Fusion Zamasu, but same thing, I guess, right? But even that, like, that's not going to be like a biggest game changer, I feel like, for this guy. Once he's attacked and everything, he has like 1.3 mil defense, a 30% chance dodge. He's able to eat these normal attacks like very well. I like how they put the 2 passive skills. So this is the first passive skill, and then this is what he became. I like the guarantee crit from turn 1. Once he gets the dodge, he basically has like 70% chance to crit from turn 2. Then it goes on to the 50% chance to crit he gets after he dodges, right? You guys get the point. And then over time, he loses stats. He gets this for the first 5 turns. That's 150% attack and defense. Then for the first 7 turns, he gets 150% attack and defense, and then high chance to an additional super attack when performing a super, right? And you guys kind of see, like, over time he gets weaker and weaker, which does fit, again, the kind of design where he loses the attack for 7 turns after his injury turn. And even after turn 5, he still looks like okay. Right, he still looks like a decent character, but I like this guy for like Cell Max, Fusion Zamasu. He's actually really good. I think he could work nice in some of this difficult content. I also use this guy in Beast Gohan. I think he looks pretty nice in Beast Gohan as well. The Gogeta fight, again, these are like shorter event units, so I'm not really going to be like, oh, dude, he's not good for this super long 10-turn fight as a character that's designed to have a pass for now, right? But I guess it is a thing where it's like, yeah, well, he's not really good in the Gogeta fight, and that is one of the harder fights, right? Whilst, there's characters, I feel like Kefla, who could work well in both these shorter fights and the longer fights. Like, I guess Kefla, like, again, fuses Zamasu. I would have ridden around this Kefla there, or the Super Saiyan 3. I probably would rather run Super Saiyan 3. Would rather run Kefla or Super Vegeta and Fusion Zamasu. probably would rather run Super Vegeta, right? You know, so that's a thing as well. But it's like she's not like as bad in like Fusion's Monster or anything like that, like these guys would be in like Gogeta or something. Yeah, I think that's like another difference that, you know, I want to like consider there. But Super Saiyan 3 does again pretty nice damage. Super Vegeta, I feel like it definitely do more damage. So it's like it's a little close between these two, but I think I like Super Saiyan 3 just a bit better overall. Because it's like, you know, that's really you attack with this guy and you dodge once, and it's like I feel like Super Vegeta, it's like you want him to be in someone but you don't want to. I guess to be fair, it's like you could get him you could attack with him and then he receives an attack and then it's like he's good. But I don't think I would put him above it, because I think Super Saiyan 3 Goku, even just this 30% chance to dodge, it's like, okay, he could just straight up dodge a super and take 0 damage. And it's like, you know, they're both tanking normals, but Vegeta, comparatively, it's like with the guard, a lot of these supers still will just one-shot him. And it'll be the same for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but he has the dodge chance. He could avoid it. And like, let's say in Beast, he gets locked in slot 1. And Beast always supers before he attacks, like before you're able to attack. He has a 60% chance to dodge that, which is a pretty good shot. So that's my thoughts on these two characters and the tier list. Either way, they're top 3, both of them. EZA War's not in a great spot, but I feel like these 3 kind of do stand out a little. But I'm out of here. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.